Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Fantastic Four Fanfare, issue number 3. Holy crap. Let me just stop and tell you two things. One, this is my favorite comic book of the week. I wasn't going to read it. I'm just like, whatever. But then I saw like Slots on it, Zardowski's on it, and not Brevoort, Tom DeFalco is on it. I'm just like, oh, okay. I mean, I'll check those out. And I'm so glad I did. Holy crap, this was so good. The second thing I want to tell you, if you are a fan of The Thing from way, way, way back in the day, run it back, way back in the day, when The Thing was the hottest thing, get it, in comics, this is your comic book. Because all three of these stories in here, that's right, little anthology, they're all propping up The Thing. In fact, some of them are really only about The Thing. Ah, this can't get a better book than this. That's all I'm going to say about it. Let's get talking about who made this comic book. Let's move on from there. So I did mention, so there's Dan Slott, Marcos Martin, and Muntsa Vincent, this other guy, all right? Vincente. Anyway, they did this story called Fight or Flight. Really, really good story. So this is Ben Grimm as a kid, always fighting in on Yancey Street, right back in Hell's Kitchen, and he's getting in trouble. He wound up getting suspended from school for fighting. His uncle, the I forget his name, but the husband of Aunt Petunia, yeah, that one. That uncle goes and takes him on his stops or whatever, and one of his stops is to an airport where there's some flyboys and they're doing these fancy flying, and basically it's like a bunch of Hal Jordans running around, except they're flying. And Ben is enamored by this, and this is where the spark gets ignited for him, because he's told the only way you're going to get behind these planes, especially with the big brains making faster than light speed stuff, nah, bro, you're going to need to know physics, and you're going to need to know physics really well. It's like, how is a dumb kid from Yancey Street supposed to make his way to college? And he gets some advice, he gets a slogan, he gets all sorts of different things to just keep fighting. You can't say something like that to the once and future Thing. Such a touching story. Great moment. See if you it's the blink and you miss it appearance of Dr. Doom in here. So good. So good. Oh my god, I love this comic book. Dan Slott pulls off miracle level fun and wholesome storytelling of Ben. It's too hard for him, so he pushes harder. They make it too easy for him, so he pushes harder. He's looking out for himself and he's being the best. And there's a part in here where we actually get to the silly things that were said in the first issue, like Sue saying to Ben, who's arguing, we haven't accounted for the cosmic rays. Read, stretch. He's not stretched yet. And Sue goes and says, Ben Grimm, I never thought, I'd see you labeled as a coward. It's like, what? Coward? Oh, that's it. Let's go. And it's like, ooh, I kind of sort of put that to the side and forgot about that. I'm wondering if maybe we should have Ben have a problem with Sue Storm at this point. Anyway, there's all these great stories of Ben doing these great things and Reed backing up Ben, saying all these wonderful things about Ben, including to Captain America. Fantastic story. So now, who's this Tom DeFalco guy? Isn't he just some old guy who's like a has-been or whatever? Shut up. No, this guy's freaking amazing. He's always been amazing. There's never been a time period where Ron Frenz and Tom DeFalco, the penciler and writer, have not been freaking amazing. And they do this story called Another Round. Beautiful story. Let me actually get to it really quick. Boop. So, am I getting there? And right there. So, okay, this one was sick. This is Flint Marco, actually William Baker, I think is his real name. It was always Flint Marco when I was growing up. Sandman. Sandman and Ben Grimm are actually like best friends. Comes to the card games and everything. And I know Flint doesn't usually go out and do cool stuff anymore because he's not a bad guy anymore. And they don't really know how to make him a hero. Well, Ron Friends does. Right? Beautiful story. It's actually more about Sandman than it is about the Thing, but it's still got the Thing just being himself. And he's elevating Sandman. And it said not the end. If I'm telling you, if we wind up getting a Sandman book by these guys, by this team who made this, done. Done. I'm reading it. I'm reading it. I'm reviewing it. I'm doing everything I can to promote it because holy crap, this was amazing. The last story is Chip Zdarsky doing some cool, funny stuff. Universal Appeal, it's called. Oh, and Mike and Laura Allred are doing the art in here. It's not their typical art where it's all like it's actually their fun art. So it's kind of a cross between what I don't know. All I'm going to say is it's a really good style to go with Zdarsky's writing, right? Anyway, this story was good in that it's propping up Johnny Storm, but actually it's just going to come right back to Ben Grimm. Ben being the babysitter, Ben being the best friend, Ben being the guy who's always overlooked, and suddenly he's not. Those kinds of stories, and then there's some rubbing in some faces. That's all. I'm going to leave it there without spoiling too much because this was such a fun story, and it's Chip. I mean, Chip writing just about anything is usually going to be good. Him writing the Fantastic Four is always going to pique my interest because it's what he wants to write. All three of these are fantastic comics, stories. I know, Fantastic Four. Very specifically, they all focus mainly around the Thing. If you like those old school Thing stories, and how couldn't you? If you guys want to read some stories, if any of you younger generations want to read the stuff that us Gen Xers, all right, the first ones who are like, wow, the baby boomers suck. Sorry. If you guys want to read Ben Grimm the way we remember him, this book, Fantastic Fanfare, a Fantastic Four Fanfare, issue number 3. It's as good as it's going to get. Love these stories, every single one of them. Like, it got me a little emotional. Granted, I was listening to Inagata Devita while I was listening to the whole album. I mean, not just the song. I was listening to the whole album, and then I came to this just as Inagata Devita was starting, and so maybe it's some of that. But man, all I'm saying is, the Thing beating people up to the drum solo, absolutely worth it anytime. I think that good rock makes these comics better, but whatever. This was so fantastic. You should absolutely read it. I'm tired of saying fantastic for this. Such an amazing comic book. This should absolutely be purchased so we can encourage more short stories like this being written. Holy crap, this is so good. Anyways, guys, I'll talk to you all later. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.